The ship of Commander Zixtar slowed as it entered orbit around the blue-green planet. It was the fifth world they had checked this cycle, and none had shown promise until now. This one had water, breathable air, and signs of technology. Nothing advanced, but definitely signs of intelligent life. "Scan complete, Commander," said Officer Trelvac. "We have confirmed life forms and small energy readings. The technology level appears to be early industrial, perhaps level 3 on our scale." Zixtar's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, showing his interest. A level 3 civilization was perfect for first contact. Advanced enough to understand visitors from space, but not advanced enough to pose any threat. "Prepare the welcome team," he ordered. "Standard protocols. No weapons visible. Let's make a good impression." 3 ships descended through the clouds. They were small, sleek, and designed to look non-threatening. The Vrixian High Command had centuries of experience with first contact missions. They knew that looking friendly was important. The ships landed in a clearing near the largest settlement. It was a modest town with simple buildings. Smoke rose from chimneys, and there were fields nearby with crops growing in neat rows. Nothing suggested these beings had even basic space flight technology. Lisa Blackwell watched the ships land from the town's observation post. She was tall with short brown hair streaked with gray. As the leader of New Horizon for the past 8 years, she had trained for this moment her whole life, just like every leader before her. "They're right on time," said Gary Winters, standing next to her. His hand rested near the weapon hidden under his simple farmer's clothes, almost exactly when the old predictions said they would come. Lisa nodded. 300 years of waiting. "Let's go welcome our visitors." When the aliens emerged from their ships, they walked slowly and kept their 4 arms open to show they carried no weapons. Their skin was pale blue, and they wore what looked like uniforms with many small devices attached. Zixtar was surprised when a group of humans approached them calmly. There was no running, no screaming, no signs of fear or worship that often came with first contact. These humans simply walked up and stopped a respectful distance away. "Welcome to New Horizon," said Lisa, speaking clearly. "We are pleased to meet you." Zixtar nearly stumbled in shock. The translation device he wore hadn't even finished analyzing their language. Yet this human was speaking as if she expected visitors. You are not afraid?" he asked after his device caught up. Lisa smiled. "Should we be? You came in peace, yes?" "Yes, of course," said Zixtar, recovering quickly. "I am Commander Zixtar of the Vrixian Exploration Fleet. We are peaceful explorers seeking new friends among the stars." Lisa nodded. "I am Lisa Blackwell, leader of New Horizon Colony. We would be happy to show you our home." As the aliens followed the humans into town, Zixtar sent a quick message to his science officer. "Something is very strange here. These humans are too calm for a first contact." The town was simple but well organized. The buildings were made of local wood and stone, with some metal parts. People came out to look at the aliens, but again, none showed extreme reactions. Some children pointed and whispered, but even they seemed merely curious, not afraid. "How long has your settlement been here?" asked Zixtar as they walked. "New Horizon was established 287 years ago," Lisa answered. "We are quite proud of our little colony." "Nearly 3 centuries. Zixtar was surprised. "And you have had no contact with other worlds?" Lisa's smile remained friendly, but her eyes hardened slightly. "We have been on our own. Earth lost contact with us long ago." Later, as the aliens were shown where they could set up a research base, Gary Winters leaned close to another colonist named Susan. "Should we tell them about the others?" he whispered. Susan shook her head slightly. "Not yet. Let's see what kind of visitors they choose to be first." From their ship, the aliens watched the humans return to town, talking excitedly among themselves. "Commander," said the science officer, "I think we found something very special here. A lost human colony, isolated for centuries. Think of what we could learn." Zixtar nodded, all four of his eyes focused on the town. Yes, this will be a simple mission. These humans will have much to gain from our advanced knowledge. He had no idea how wrong he was. 3 days after the aliens arrived, they had set up a small base on the edge of town. Commander Zixtar had sent his initial reports back to the Phyrexian High Command, who were very interested in this isolated human colony. Maya Peterson welcomed the alien scientists to the colony's small museum. She was in her 50s with curly red hair and bright eyes that missed nothing. As the keeper of New Horizons history, it was her job to explain their past to the visitors. Our ancestors came here by accident, she told them, pointing to an old model of a ship. The colony ship Aurora was meant to reach the Ta Ceti system, but there was a problem with the navigation systems. Scientist Meyerleth moved closer to examine the model. This vessel seems quite advanced for its age. Maya nodded. Earth was sending out its first wave of colony ships. The Aurora was one of the best, carrying 5,000 people to start a new life. What happened after you arrived here? Asked Meyerleth. The ship was damaged during landing. They could send messages back to Earth, but the ship couldn't fly again. Earth sent rescue ships, but none ever found us. After 20 years, the messages stopped coming. We were on our own. Zixtar felt a wave of sadness. Your ancestors must have been very brave. They were, Maya agreed. They had to adapt everything they knew to this world. Some of our plants and animals came from Earth, but many are local species we learned to use. The aliens were shown farming equipment, simple machines, and other tools the colony had developed. Everything seemed appropriate for their apparent level of technology, but something bothered Zixtar. There were odd inconsistencies he couldn't quite place. That evening, Zixtar shared his thoughts with his team. Something isn't right here. These humans speak of being lost for centuries, yet they greeted us like they meet aliens every day. Perhaps they are simply very calm people, suggested Trelvac. Or perhaps they're hiding something, said Security Chief Nevral. I've noticed their tools are too precise for the methods they claim to use. The next day, Frank Martinez showed the aliens the colony's power plant. It was a simple building with water wheels and what looked like basic steam engines. This provides all your power? Asked Zixtar doubtfully. Frank was a stocky man with dark hair and clever hands that never stopped moving. We don't need much. Simple living, you know. But Zixtar had seen electric lights in every home, and machines that seemed to require more power than these generators could provide. Later, Frank watched the aliens set up their own power systems. His eyes carefully studied every movement, every component. When he thought no one was looking, he made small notes in a book hidden in his sleeve. That night, he met with Lisa and others in a room deep under the colony's main hall. Unlike the simple buildings above, this room was filled with advanced displays and equipment. They're exactly what we expected, Frank said, showing them detailed drawings of the alien technology. Their power systems are based on quantum wave principles, just like the Xelnar visitors 80 years ago. Lisa nodded. And their weapons? Hidden in their ships, said Gary. Energy-based, medium range. Nothing we haven't seen before. Lisa turned to a large screen showing the alien base. They're establishing a permanent research outpost. The commander has requested permission to bring more scientists. Should we allow it? Asked Maya. Lisa thought for a moment. Yes. Let them come. Let them study us. Meanwhile, we'll continue to study them. Back at the alien base, Zixtar sent his final report of the day to High Command. These humans appear primitive but resourceful. They have adapted well to isolation. Recommend expanded research mission to fully document this unique cultural development. These humans have much to learn from us. On the screen, the response came quickly. Mission expanded. Additional research teams approved. These humans could provide valuable insights into isolated social development. Proceed with care. Zixtar looked out the window toward the peaceful town. In the distance, Frank Martinez was walking home. smiling to himself as the setting sun cast long shadows across New Horizon. 3 weeks passed, and more alien ships arrived. The Vrixian research base had grown larger with new buildings and equipment. 20 more scientists had joined the mission, all eager to study the primitive human colony. But strange things began to happen. Equipment stopped working for no reason. Data disappeared from alien computers. Some scanning devices gave different readings each time they were used. Security Chief Nevrail paced in Commander Zixtar's office, his blue skin darker with frustration. This is the 5th equipment failure this week. Something is wrong. Perhaps our systems aren't compatible with this planet's environment, suggested Zixtar. Or perhaps the humans are interfering, said Nevrail. I've noticed them watching us. They ask too many questions about our technology. Later that day, scientist Meyerleth was showing a group of colony children how some of their simpler devices worked. A young girl named Zoe Crawford picked up a broken scanner. This doesn't work because the quantum alignment is off, she said, turning it over in her small hands. The calibration needs to be reset. Meyerleth stared at the child. How do you know about quantum alignment? Zoe's eyes widened as she realized her mistake. I just guessed. It sounds like something from our old stories. That evening, Nevrail reported the incident to Zixtar. A child. Commander, a human child knew about quantum technology. How is that possible in a colony with steam engines? The next morning, Nevrail took 2 security officers and began searching the hills surrounding the colony. Behind some trees, they found a small hut that looked abandoned, but inside was advanced equipment pointed directly at the alien base. They found 3 more hidden observation posts before returning to report to Zixtar. They are watching us, Nevrail said. Studying us. These observation posts have technology that matches our own level. Zixtar called for an immediate meeting with Lisa Blackwell. They met in the colony's meeting hall, with Nevrail standing guard nearby. We found your observation posts, said Zixtar directly. You have been monitoring us. Lisa's face remained calm. Yes, we have. Your technology is far more advanced than you claimed. You have been deceiving us from the start. Lisa folded her hands on the table. We have survived here for nearly 3 centuries, Commander. We didn't do that by being careless when strangers arrive. Are we in danger? Asked Zixtar. Not unless you mean us harm, said Lisa. We study all visitors. It's how we stay safe. All visitors? Zixtar leaned forward. You've had other alien contact before. Lisa nodded slowly. You're not the first to find our little colony. Some came in peace, like you. Others did not. Later that day, Zixtar sent an urgent message to the Vrixian High Command. The human colony is hiding advanced technology. They admit to previous alien contact. Request full planetary surveying and security reinforcements. The response came quickly. Reinforcements approved. Begin full documentation of all colony technology and capabilities. This situation is now priority level 1. Meanwhile, deep under the colony, Alan Fisher activated systems that had been waiting for centuries. Lights came on in a massive room filled with machines. Screens showed every part of the colony and the alien base. On one large screen was a map of the entire solar system, with small dots representing the newly arriving alien ships. They're bringing more ships, he told Lisa, who had just entered the control room. Military vessels this time. Lisa's face hardened. Then they've made their choice. Activate the network. Alert all sections. All of it? Asked Alan. The full network. Yes, said Lisa. It's time to show our visitors who they're really dealing with. Throughout the colony, hidden doors opened. Secret equipment powered up. And deep in underground bunkers, systems built by the original colonists began to awaken after centuries of waiting. The Vrixians had no idea what was coming. The next day, a dozen new Vrixian ships arrived in orbit. Unlike the smooth research vessels, these had visible weapons and hard, angular shapes. They were warships, though the Vrixians called them security vessels. In the colony, life seemed to continue as normal. Farmers worked in fields. Children played in the streets. But there were subtle changes. Fewer people were visible. Some buildings that had been busy before now stood empty. Commander Zixtar called his officers together as the new ships landed near their base. Captain Vermac of the security fleet was taller than most Vrixians, with darker blue skin and cold eyes. "The High Command wants everything documented," said Vermac. "Every piece of technology, every building, every capability these humans possess." "They may resist," warned Zixtar. "Then they will learn the cost of resistance," replied Vermac. "We have dealt with primitive deception before." Teams of Vrixian soldiers and scientists spread throughout the colony. They entered homes and workshops, scanning and taking samples. The colonists watched silently, offering no resistance, but no help either. Scientist Meyerleth noticed something strange near the colony school. A group of children were playing a game, tossing a ball and moving in patterns. After watching for a while, she realized with shock that their game perfectly copied Vrixian military patrol formations. "How long have they played this game?" she asked a nearby teacher. "Oh, for generations," the teacher replied with a small smile. "Children's games have a way of lasting, don't they?" In another part of the colony, Meyerleth discovered unusual radiation patterns coming from the ground. The readings suggested power sources far more advanced than anything visible on the surface. "Commander," she reported, "these readings are impossible for their level of technology. There's something huge under this colony." Captain Vermac ordered deep scans of the entire area. "Whatever they're hiding, we'll find it." Lisa Blackwell requested a meeting with the Vrixian leaders. They gathered in the colony's meeting hall once more. "Your soldiers are frightening our people," she said calmly. "This is unnecessary." "You've been lying to us," said Vermac. "This colony has technology far beyond what you've shown." Lisa looked at each alien face before speaking. "We have survived here for centuries because we prepared for every possibility. Yes, we have technology we haven't shown you. We've been expecting visitors from space for generations." "How is that possible?" asked Zixtar. "You were lost colonists." "We were never truly lost," said Lisa. "Earth couldn't find us, but we stayed true to our mission." "What mission?" demanded Vermac. "To survive, to develop, to be ready." Lisa's voice grew stronger. "The first generation of colonists knew Earth would eventually find us again, or that someone else would." Meanwhile, on the far side of the colony, a Vrixian scout ship was mapping the mountains. As it flew over a lake, something strange happened. Its engines suddenly failed. The ship dropped like a stone into the deep water and disappeared. When the ship didn't report back, Vermac sent a message to the fleet in orbit. "Possible hostile action. Prepare full security protocols." Back in the meeting hall, a colonist whispered something in Lisa's ear. Her face hardened. "One of your ships crossed into restricted territory," she said. "We warned you about the northern lakes." "What did you do?" demanded Vermac, standing up. "Nothing. The lakes protect themselves." Lisa stood as well. "I think this meeting is over. I suggest you and your people return to your base." As the aliens left, Vermac sent an urgent message to the Vrixian High Command. "Colony has hidden defenses and unknown technology levels. Request immediate military intervention." The response was quick. "Full battle fleet dispatched. Arrival in 2 days. Secure the colony at all costs." From her window, Lisa watched the aliens hurry back to their base. She picked up a small device and spoke into it. "Sam, they've called for their battle fleet. It's time for stage 2. Around the colony, hidden eyes watched as the aliens prepared for war. They had no idea what they were about to face. As night fell, the colony changed. Buildings that had seemed simple and rustic began to transform. Metal panels slid over wooden walls. Roofs opened to reveal hidden equipment. The ground itself seemed to move as buried structures rose to the surface. Sam Daniels stood in the colony's defense center, which had been hidden beneath the town square. He was a tall man with gray at his temples and eyes that had seen many battles. Around him, colonists worked at stations that controlled the defense systems. "All sectors report ready," said a young woman at one of the screens. Sam nodded. "Tell everyone to stay in the underground shelters until this is over." At the Vryxian base, alarms sounded as their sensors detected the massive energy surge from the colony. Captain Vermac ordered all troops to battle stations. "What is happening?" demanded Zixtar, rushing into the command center. "The humans are revealing their true nature," said Vermac. "Look at these readings. They have power systems that match our most advanced technology." On their screens, they watched in shock as the simple farming colony transformed into what looked like a military base. Hidden weapon systems emerged from the ground. Energy shields formed over important buildings. "Impossible," whispered Meyerleth. "They've been hiding all this." "We need to strike now," said Vermac, "before they are fully deployed." Zixtar shook his head. "No, we need to talk to them first. This could still be resolved peacefully." "The time for talk is over," said Vermac, giving orders to his troops. "Prepare to secure the colony." As the first Vryxian ships rose from their base, a message came from Lisa Blackwell. "This is your only warning. Return to your base immediately. Any approach will be considered hostile action." Vermac ignored the warning. 3 ships flew toward the colony, weapons ready. From hidden silos around the colony, small devices shot into the sky. They surrounded the Vryxian ships and emitted a pulse of energy. The ship's engines died instantly, and they dropped to the ground outside the colony. Vermac ordered a full attack. All remaining ships lifted off, weapons charged. But before they could fire, the ground beneath them erupted. Huge machines rose from hidden underground hangars. They were unlike anything the Vryxians had seen before. Not quite ships, not quite robots, but somehow both. "Full attack," ordered Vermac. The Vryxian ships fired, but their energy weapons were absorbed by shimmering shields around the colony's defenses. From the colony, pulses of light shot out, precisely hitting the Vryxian ships' weapon systems without destroying the vessels. In orbit, the Vryxian ships fired down at the colony, but their weapons seemed to hit an invisible dome over the entire area, doing no damage. Inside the defense center, Sam watched the battle on the screens. "They're testing our shields," he said. "Let's show them what we can really do." He pressed a button, and from the lake where the scout ship had disappeared, something massive began to rise. It was a ship, but unlike the Vryxian vessels. It was dark and sleek, with no visible weapons but a sense of incredible power. As it rose into the air, water streaming from its hull, it sent out a signal that disabled the weapons on every Vryxian ship in orbit. In the Vryxian command center, chaos erupted as reports came in of ships losing power and weapons going offline. "What have we done?" whispered Zixtar. "These are not primitive humans. They're far beyond us." Lisa's voice came over their communication system. "Captain Vermac, Commander Zixtar, this pointless attack ends now. Your ships are disabled but not destroyed. We could have shot them down, but that's not our way." On the main screen, they saw Lisa standing in what was clearly an advanced command center, nothing like the simple meeting hall where they had met before. "You have 1 hour to decide," she said. "Leave peacefully, or face the full capabilities of New Horizon Colony." As the screen went dark, Vermac turned to his officers. "Contact the battle fleet. Tell them to hurry." But Zixtar stared at the blank screen, finally understanding the terrible mistake they had made. The hour passed quickly. In the Vryxian base, Captain Vermac refused to surrender. "The battle fleet will arrive soon," he told his officers. "These humans may have surprised us, but they cannot stand against our full might." Zixtar argued for peace. "We came as explorers, not conquerors. We should leave while we can." "Too late for that," said Vermac. "Look." On their screens, they saw dozens of ships appearing in orbit. The Vryxian battle fleet had arrived early, 20 massive warships with enough firepower to level the entire colony. A message came from the fleet commander. We will begin the attack in 1 hour. Prepare your ground forces. In the colony's command center, Lisa and Sam watched the new ships arrive. Right on time, said Sam. They always send the big guns when they're scared. Lisa nodded. Are we ready? We've been ready for 3 centuries, said Sam with a grim smile. He turned to his team. Deploy the gravity mines. From the colony ship that had risen from the lake, smaller vessels launched into space. They moved quickly, invisible to the Vrixian sensors, taking positions around the alien fleet. The Vrixian ships began their attack run, weapons charging. As they moved toward the planet, the gravity mines activated. Suddenly, 20 massive Vrixian warships found themselves unable to move, caught in invisible fields that disabled their engines. What's happening? Demanded the fleet commander. Why can't we move? On the planet below, more of the colony's hidden technology revealed itself. Huge arrays rose from the mountains, focusing energy toward the sky, not as weapons, but as a shield covering the entire planet. The Vrixian fleet fired their most powerful weapons, but they could not penetrate the shield. Inside their ships, systems began to fail as the gravity mines drained their power. In the colony's command center, Frank Martinez worked at a control panel. Their ships used the same basic systems as the last 3 species who tried to attack us, he said. Our countermeasures are working perfectly. Lisa opened a channel to the Vrixian fleet. This is Lisa Blackwell of New Horizon Colony. Your ships are now under our control. You can't move, and you can't fight. We ask again, will you leave peacefully? The fleet commander's angry face appeared on the screen. We do not surrender to primitive colonists. This is an outrage. Look around you, said Lisa calmly. Does any of this seem primitive to you? On the Vrixian command ship, screens showed images of the colony's true form, advanced buildings and technology unlike anything they had seen before. The colony ship rising fully from the lake, revealing itself to be nearly as large as their biggest warship. How is this possible? Asked the fleet commander. Your colony was lost centuries ago. We were never lost, said Lisa. We were sent here for a purpose. When Earth's first colonies were established, they knew they might face threats from space. New Horizon was a special mission. We were placed far from known space and given the most advanced technology Earth had. Our purpose was to develop in our own way, without outside influence. A hidden outpost, said Zixtar, who was listening to the exchange. A fortress world designed to develop independently. Yes, said Lisa. For 300 years, we've grown and learned. We've met other species, some peaceful, some not. Each encounter taught us something new. She looked directly at the fleet commander. We've faced bigger fleets than yours before. The choice remains the same. Leave in peace, or don't leave at all. The Vrixian ships hung motionless in space, trapped by technology they couldn't understand. Their weapons useless against the planetary shield. For the first time, real fear showed on the fleet commander's face. Zixtor stepped forward. There has been a terrible misunderstanding. We came as explorers, not enemies. Then prove it, said Lisa. Order your fleet to power down weapons. We will release your ships one by one, and you will leave our system. After a long silence, the fleet commander nodded. Very well. We accept your terms. As the Vrixian leaders gave orders to stand down, Zixtur stared at the images of the colony's true form with a mixture of awe and regret. 3 days later, most of the Vrixian fleet had left the system. Only Commander Zixtar's original research ship remained in orbit. The tense battle had ended without a single life lost on either side. In the colony's main hall, now revealed to be much more advanced than it first appeared, Lisa met with Zixtar and his remaining science team. The walls gleamed with subtle technology that had been hidden beneath simple wood panels before. I want to apologize, said Zixtar, his 4 eyes focused on Lisa. We came as explorers but acted like invaders. It's a common pattern, said Lisa. Almost every species we've met eventually tried to take what we have or control us. Meyerleith looked around at the advanced room. Your technology is remarkable. It's like nothing we've seen before. Lisa nodded. When our ancestors were sent here, they brought the best Earth had to offer. But over the centuries, we developed our own path. We had to adapt to this world and to the various visitors we've had. How many other species have found you? Asked Zixtar. 7, said Lisa. Some came in peace and left the same way. Others. She gestured to the window where workers were repairing minor damage from the battle. Others had to be convinced. Sam Daniels entered the room carrying a small container. The technical package is ready, he told Lisa. She nodded and turned to Zixtar. We would like to offer you something before you leave. Sam placed the container on the table and opened it. Inside was a small crystal device. What is this? Asked Zixtar. A gift, said Lisa. Technical information on some of our medical advances and sustainable energy systems. Nothing that could be used as a weapon, but things that could help your people. Zixtar looked surprised. After everything that happened, you're sharing your technology with us. Frank Martinez, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. That's the real difference between us, Commander. When you found what you thought was a primitive colony, you immediately tried to take advantage. When we defeated your fleet, we chose to share instead of destroy. Zixtar accepted the crystal with all 4 hands, a sign of deep respect in Phyrexian culture. The High Command will not be pleased that we failed to secure this colony. Tell them the truth, said Lisa. New Horizon is not a threat to anyone who comes in peace, but we cannot be conquered. Later, as Zixtar prepared to board his ship, he spoke privately with Lisa near the landing area. There will be others who come looking for you, he warned. The galaxy is full of species more aggressive than mine. Lisa smiled. We know. We've been preparing for 300 years. Will Earth ever find you again? Asked Zixtar. They already have, said Lisa. 50 years ago, an Earth ship detected our signals. They'd visit occasionally, but they respect our independence. We're an experiment that worked, humans developing apart from Earth's influence, finding our own path. Zixtar looked out at the colony, now fully revealed in its true form. Advanced buildings mingled with natural materials in a design unlike anything in the Phyrexian worlds. I have one last question, he said. You could have destroyed our fleet. Why didn't you? Lisa's expression grew serious. Because the true measure of advancement isn't in weapons or power, Commander. It's in knowing when not to use them. As Zixtar's ship rose into the sky, the people of New Horizon watched from below. Children waved, already turning the recent events into a new game to play. In his ship, Zixtar looked down at the colony growing smaller below him. He composed his final report to the Phyrexian High Command, knowing it would change how his people viewed the universe. We found a forgotten human colony, he wrote, and learned a lesson we will never forget. Never judge a civilization by what they choose to show you. The most dangerous ones might be those who have nothing to prove. On New Horizon, Lisa watched the ship disappear into the clouds. She smiled as she turned to her people. Begin preparations, she said. Our next visitors will be here in about 5 years. Let's be ready to welcome them properly.